Before we move forward, we have a very special person joining us live from London and would like to say a few words about you. Let us all welcome Professor Lord Nicholas Stern of London School of Economics, who's joining us live from London right now. Professor Stern, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you very much.
I request you to please share a few words with us.
Thank you. It's a great honor to be invited to join you today by the TIOL Foundation and to be with the former President of India and such distinguished guests. And it's a special honor to be invited to speak about my dear, long-standing and very distinguished friend, NK. And it's an added pleasure that he's being awarded alongside the extraordinarily distinguished Jagdish Bhagwati and Vijay Kelkar, also who I'm happy to count as very close friends. And I've learned enormously from all three of them. It's impossible to do justice to NK's immense contributions in just a few minutes, but let me try. And I'll divide into two: his impact on academic life and institutions and ideas, and his impact on the world. But NK being NK, those two things are absolutely intertwined. On his academic life, after his master's at Delhi School, where he attended at a very distinguished period at that school, marked of course by Jagdish and Padma, he taught at St. Stephen's, but he wasn't destined for solely an academic career, although he had one. He was destined for a career in public service. But his contacts with universities, ideas, and academic life have continued throughout his public career. Just a few examples very quickly. He's worked tirelessly for the rebirth of Nalanda University, the oldest university in the world. He's contributed greatly to my own institution, the London School of Economics, as the chair of our India LSE Advisory Board, also to Stanford, and he's brought new energy and leadership as president of the Institute of Economic Growth, launching, for example, the very important Kautilya Economic Conclave, which is shaping ideas already in just the two events that it has held. His written ideas have shaped the way we understand public finance, and I recommend very strongly to all of you, I'm sure most of you have already read it, his Portraits of Power. But his contributions to public life in India of the world have been quite extraordinary. We've heard already, rattling through the decades, 1980s, Minister of Economic Affairs in Indian Embassy in Tokyo, the 1990s with Manmohan and Montek, transforming the Indian economy. Indeed, that is seen now as a landmark in international public policy. The dream budget of 1997-98, which was indeed a fundamental tax reform. We've heard of the Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Committee, which he led. And of course, the 15th Finance Commission, which was pioneering in many ways, including its introduction to the bringing environment into the whole story in a strong way. And I think looking back, we will see it as essentially being a moment when the Finance Commission was raised back to the level that it was always envisaged in India's constitution. But what I wanted to emphasize in closing is that whilst we look back on a very distinguished and influential career, we have to recognize that that career is in full swing. It continues, and we have to look forward. I had the pleasure and privilege of working with NK and Larry Summers on the G20 MDB report. That resonated, two reports, the Triple Agenda and Bigger, Bolder, Better. Those reports resonated at the Marrakesh meeting of the World Bank and IMF in October. They're already influencing the agenda for the spring meetings of the IMF and World Bank, which are coming up in a couple of weeks' time. That influence, that contribution which we celebrate is in the past, is something we should also celebrate in its continuing nature now and long into the future, we hope, as well. But before I close, let me just mention one other thing about NK, is his generosity in wisdom and advice to his friends, and indeed more broadly. If you need advice, if you need to try to understand something, if you need good judgment, if you need wisdom, go to NK. So many of us do exactly that, and we've benefited enormously. Thank you, NK. We salute you and congratulate you on a splendid day. Thank you.